and we reached here at Bhubaneswar by around 10:20 and all. So, okay.
Oh,
So, and I think I'll start showing you the PPT. Yesterday, we were in block 7, which was only one unit was left over. So we'll finish off and then we'll move to block 8. And in the like
okay,
after the class gets over, you just tell me something, where how tourism, like digitalization in tourism, what is the impact and all. Okay, if you can give some
okay,
lights on
no
that.
problem.
Okay, okay,
Okay, ma'am.
okay. So what happened by 4:30, I'll try to 4:40, 45, I'll try to finish it off. Then you can carry, like, what are the, because now everything, as I told you, like in this G20 conference, it was more emphasized on green tourism. Green tourism is basically what we are now discussing, how environmental impact, I mean, tourism has the impact on the environment, positive as well as negative. So now they wanted to, like, it should be green tourism. Second thing is sustainable, same thing. And the third one is digitalization in tourism. Okay. So, okay,
Okay,
I'll show you the PPT. Huh? You just tell me when it is visible. It will, yes, so that I can go ahead. Huh? 1 minute.
okay, okay, ma'am.
Hmm. What about the others? They haven't joined yet. Huh? Maybe they'll be joining. Kaberu, is it visible?
No, ma'am. Yeah, it's visible now.
Block 7 thresholds. Wait, it's visible, no? Okay, wait. I'll
Visible.
just enlarge. Huh? Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
hmm, hmm. So yesterday we discussed about this block 7, which was basically on identifying pressures and understanding thresholds. So we covered this. Then host or local population, that also we covered. Like impact of tourism on the environment. What are the environmental thresholds? Then some solutions. Then, as population, pollution, and exploitation of natural resources are intimately interrelated, when you summarize, then the local host and the local population, that opportunities are available to locals as a result of tourism. But I mean, there is always an interaction between tourists and locals. And what is direct employment, indirect employment, induced employment. Then we also discussed about cross cultural exchange, then renewal of cultural pride. Yes, then we were at the involvement of the locals. I told you yesterday, I showed you that video about Dashera, and we discussed like who are the host population, who is the first category people, who are the second category people, who are the third category, then fourth, and the last one is another group of citizens who always oppose tourism in an organized manner. So we had almost completed this. And yes, tourism and culture, then local, physical, moral behavior. And yes, we were supposed to come on that visitor behavior. Okay. So, the visitor also has an impact, has an important role to play, because if the tourist behave in a very, not in a normal way, then naturally it has a very negative impact on the local community, because the local community are providing the service. So in lieu of that, it is not always exchange of I mean generating revenue, not in exchange of revenue, but at the same time, a cordial relation should be maintained between the host community as well as the guest also, I mean the tourist also. So that is very important. So one thing, so tourism today plays a very important role in the world economy. We know that, we have discussed in details about that. And yes, the travel and tourism together, they constitute a large industry in terms of turnover and employment. Turnover in the sense generating revenue as your output, as well as employment. There are a lot of job opportunities. Only you should know how it, but it should be, very in a positive manner without affecting the environment. And the potential, of course, it is increasing day by day. But of course there are some other hindrances. The hindrances include like the population, because the population is increasing. Similarly, pollution is increasing. So these are very, then you have the waste management. How the waste has to be. Yesterday I showed you that video, and I told you, the very next day of Dashera you will find lot of waste and all. So how to manage those, that is very important. So these are when the tourism is increasing day by day, and there's a lot of visitors, both domestic as well as international visitors. The business also, I mean, it's a very lucrative business also. So we should ensure that there is a proper, tourists as well, the local community, they have a very crucial role to play to safeguard the environment. So basically, when in this unit we'll be learning what is tourism. What do you mean by visitor? Who is the visitor, who is the tourist, or who is the guest. Second is, you should be aware of the brief history of the tourist, because there are tourists who are coming to the destination maybe on educational purpose. Some may be coming on for enjoying leisure trips or holidaying. Some of them may be coming for like medical, related to health and wellness. Some of them may coming for the adventurous tourism. Then you have some maybe on official or business trip. So many, I mean, there's a lot type of tourism. But yes, sustainability is very important. So that is how all the destinations, especially the destinations in the urban areas, they are being transformed into ecotourism without disturbing the environment. So you should know how to stay with the environment. That is what is important. Okay. Then yes, we have to realize the implications of an irresponsible tourist behavior. Some tourists, they behave in such a manner. For instance, they don't they are not abide by the rules and regulations, guidelines that should be maintained in the tourist destination. So that has to be taken care of. They should be properly sensitized. Awareness has to be there. Awareness has to be there, at all level, like right from the school to the college level, as well as even tourists, who are visiting, they should be made aware. That is the reason you will find at all the tourist destinations, like signboards are there, which makes it very easily visible. So that is very important. Then we should also appreciate the need of an eco-sensitive behavior on part of the visitors. And at the same time, you should be aware of what are the measures to be aware of the certain measures to keep the visitor environment equilibrium in place. So these are very important discussions, because the chapter is on pressure and thresholds on tourism, on the environment. So, what is when if I ask you what do you mean by a visitor, then what would you say? A person behavior. What do you mean by a visitor? Basically, the behavior of a visitor, it also has an impact on the destination, because a person who goes, who visits a place, wants to know about the place, then how he interacts with the local community, then his spending capacity, that is also very etc. So in every aspect of his behavior, a visitor affects the environment. Maybe it can be in a positive way, or it can be also in a negative way. Okay. So we are more concerned with the adverse effects, because if those are positive, we are very happy to accept. But if it is a negative way, that is, it's an adverse manner, then we are very concerned, in the sense, because it would have a very negative impact on the environment. So this problem does not exist with the educated and sensitive tourists. See, it is not always like, even educated people, they also not aware of, uneducated people. Okay, they are not aware, but even sometimes you'll find the educated people, they are not aware of, they throw the wrappers and garbages here and there, without putting in the proper garbage bin or trash bin. So sometimes you'll find, if not properly, the garbage should be thrown in the dustbin or in the garbage trash bin. If not, then penalty will be imposed. So why this? I think this penalty will be imposed is very necessary, so that the visitors are aware of. Unless and until some guidelines are there, or some penalties are imposed if they do not abide by the rules and regulations, then I mean, it is very much necessary. Otherwise, they won't care about. That is what is very important. So that is, and our discussion would mainly depend on three components. That is, one is the your physical environment, another is the socio-cultural environment, and the other one is the economic environment. So especially, there are, like, people like visitors, they'll be visiting, tourists, they'll be visiting different sites. Like you'll find some cultural sites, then you'll be finding some natural sites, then you'll be also finding some wildlife sites, then places of historical importance, then you'll find places of religious importance, then they will visit some areas which are of business importance. Okay. Then places of academic interest, like as I said, educational purposes. So there are different sites, as I name, like, cultural, natural, wildlife sites, and historical places. So each has a very importance, each site has some importance attached to it. And we should, whatever, so whenever whatever site a visitor, tourist visits, there is always an interaction between the visitor and the environment, and I mean, environment of the site concerned. Okay. So in that environment, of course, the local community is involved. So if you visit a, suppose, wildlife sanctuary, okay, wildlife sites, then wildlife reserves or any botanical gardens, then you have a direct interaction with the environment. It is mentioned that you should not pluck flowers, or you should not touch the trees or something. Then you'll find many or times what happens, these children, what happened, they try, not children, even elderly people, they are trying to, children, not only children, adolescent, elderly people, they are trying to throw some food, like food, or some types of snacks, or to this I mean, all the animals who are in the zoo, or you can see in I mean, garden, wildlife reserves. So this is not acceptable. This should not be I mean, this I mean, I was just reading, now the animals, they are also very much habituated, they have come to know about this interaction between human being and animals. But yes, those should be avoided. Okay. So one thing we should remember, that whenever site a visitor visits, there is always an interaction between the visitor and the environment of that particular site. And this interrelationship is basically very dynamic and mutual. both influencing each other. Of course, it has to be a mutually benefited. I am doing for you, you should also do. So it should be, mutually benefited. So, but yes, in this we'll try to discuss about the physical environment. So what is under physical environment? Basically, under physical environment, it includes the leftover of eatables. What do you mean by leftover of eatables? Sometimes, as I told you, there are packages, paper packs, or there are sometimes polythene bags and all, and for eating stuff like bottles and all. What happened, this problem has, the visitors, they carry all these packets with them, and the leftovers, which is, they just threw it off somewhere without throwing it in the proper area. So this you'll find in the beaches. If you see, especially if you go to any beach, you'll find, I have shown you the video that day. The beaches, you'll find lot of bottles, your even plastic bottles and all, just here and there. So it's a, I mean, a garbage. So this packs are thrown all over the place, and some of this, and they are all are not biodegradable. Some of these leftovers are biodegradable, while others are either non biodegradable items, like especially the plastics, the polythene bags, and they take usually a very very long time to disintegrate, and this destroys the physical beauty of the landscape, that we all know that it destroys the physical beauty of the landscape. Then there is dumping garbage. They usually, what happen, the eatables or whatever, very common problem usually with the visitors and all. The visitor is usually very much, they don't care about, they have a very negative attitude, you can say, very ignorant about the damage his act may bring. They are just eating chips, eating snacks, and throwing the wrappers here and there. So, a very, and you'll find this type of, activities taking places at the, where the monuments are located, or any botanical gardens are located, because people, they always tend to carry water bottles, and there's some eatables and all. So in some parks, there is, they don't allow any food to carry. There are, water bottles, there are all the facilities, food outlets are inside the park. There's a, park in Kolkata, since you are aware of the name Kolkata. So Kolkata, has a park which is known as Eco Park. So if you visit that, it is a huge park. Even boating is there, and rainwater dance is there, toy train is there. Then there are, yes, the seven wonders of the world you are aware of. The miniatures of those seven wonders of the world are located in that eco park. The name of the park is Eco Park. See, eco, it's so how they have made it Eco Park, because once you enter, the thing is that they don't allow you to carry even a water bottle inside. Not even any food packets and water bottles not allowed. So once you enter, you can just, it will take a whole day long, if you, because it's situated on not more than, roughly 30 acres of land. 30 to 40 acres of land, because there is a huge lake where you can go for boating. Then you have rainwater dance, then you have different handicrafts of different places in West Bengal. Then some monuments are there. Then, it's a beautiful place. And yes, another thing is, which is very eye catching, is this seven wonders of the world. They are in miniatures, so all in miniatures. We cannot go to, always to a different country to visit the, the wonders of the world. But if you go to Kolkata, that Eco Park, they have those seven wonders of the world in miniature form. So that is very interesting. Okay. So basically, why the thing is that they don't allow you to take the any food packets, because people have the tendency of just dumping their garbage here and there. Second thing is historical sites. These are also affected by the visitors behavior in a variety of ways. One problem is that, film shooting company, especially you'll find this, those are involved in shooting and all the movies we watch. You'll find this movie was. The shooting was taken place in front of this historical place, but now most of the shooting takes place, abroad only. But yes, in India also we have many destinations where the site that is on a film studio, the studio, I mean the locality is made in such a way where film shootings are being taken place. And what happened, most of this problem is that, whether it is a beach or the forest or an island, the problem is also, we will find that this visitors, they try to record their visits by scribbling their names, whenever see. Because why I told you film shooting, because we just take a capture photos with the help of our mobiles or cameras, but they have huge equipments and tools carrying with them, and they try to do the shooting over there. So sometimes it happens, they uh, indirect way they hamper that destination, I mean hamper that particular site. Because they start, some of them you'll find them started scribbling on those sites, or big vehicles are not allowed. Otherwise, four wheelers are not allowed, but if it is a shooting takes place, then a huge truck loaded with all those equipments and tools are had I mean had to they get the permission from the the municipality to get the film shoot. So this type of they do, I mean sometimes when they do, maybe some, if it's near a monument, then sometimes the stone comes out, or sometimes what happens, a marble piece or something that comes out. So this is how it affects the site. So that is one thing. And another is we have this wildlife and vegetation sites. These sites especially have their own problems, and thus disturbing or provoking the animals. As I told you, when people go to any national reserve, they try to feed the animals, with any fruits or any type of eatables and all. So sometimes they also, you think that it gives satisfaction to you, but on the other side, it provokes the animals. So you have to be very careful in this. And especially, you'll find, especially when there are forest reserves and all, you'll find the local people, they try to shoot animals, and they try to hunt animals, and they sell their skin, their fur, their teeth, everything. I mean that is what they like, it is known as poaching basically. So they try to hunt those animals. Even there's a, government ban, and it is a major threat to the wildlife, so that has to be taken care of. And when we talk about vegetation sites, also plucking vegetables, flowers or fruits, something, making marks on the trunks of the, you have seen many a times, people have the tendency to mark their, write their names on the trunk of the trees. So this has, these type of problems keep on carrying, so this has to be really looked into. Then islands and beaches I've already mentioned, who unknowingly, may not be knowingly, but unknowingly threatens the local environment. So sometimes you'll find, people going for scuba diving, or you'll find they are going for swimming, and proper, they are not in proper life jackets or something. Or so these, what happens, this pollutes the water. Even if you see, if you go to any swimming pool in a hotel, they don't allow, hotels are very strict in this manner, they don't allow you to enter into the swimming pool without swimming costume. So these regulations should be maintained, okay. So as I told you, like whether it is parasailing, or whether it is scuba diving, or whether it is swimming, or whether it is boating, anything, it pollutes the water. Not only pollutes the water, but it also affects the marine habitat. That is okay. So in addition, you'll find people are They are trying to pick those shells, then corals, etc. So these are or pebbles from the beaches, and this affect the physical environment. So that is all about physical environment. Then you have the socio-cultural environment and economic environment. Okay, first let me come to the socio-cultural environment and visitor behavior. This is manifested in many different ways, like your spendthrift habits of the tourists. What they have among the residents or general or the tourists, they generally come, the tourists basically, since most of the tourists, they basically come from affluent families or affluent communities who, 1 minute, huh? My just a minute. Um, hmm. Uh, Otherwise, I mean, there was uh, my battery was, I mean, my laptop's battery was down. That's why. Huh? So what happened? You will find those. Usually, people have a the tourists. Some of the tourists are very spendthrift. What they, because since they come from very affluent family and they are on holiday, so they are basically inclined to spend more than the normal pattern of life that would permit. So what happens, this has many indirect consequences for the local, when the local residents run short of money, and they resort to other activities which at times are illegal. So that is what happens, like for example, they will say, get this thing for me, get that thing for me. So sometimes, illegal business like gambling, then all this type of illegal activities takes place because they have a spendthrift habit. Then there is alcoholism, or other problems. When you will find many visitors, when they visit the destinations like beaches, islands, they involve themselves in drinking and smoking. Some of them are, like, drug peddling. Those also takes place. And especially, you have heard about, in India we have place like Goa. Goa beach is very, but nowadays it is in under control. But earlier, drug peddlers, it was very known for the, drug peddling, and especially the foreigners, international tourists, they were involved in all these activities. Then we have the Kovalam beach. So this was very, that time, once upon a time, it was, I mean, it was a very regular business in all those beaches. But of course, with the interception of the government and the local stakeholders, it has come under control. So such things may be in a way or other acceptable to the foreigners, but here in India, they have their inherent danger of spoiling the traditional social fabric. Then comes the attire and food. Okay, when we talk about attire and food, like, the dressing sense, the food habits as they are concerned, there is also a difference between the foreigners and the natives, especially if you have in the background a village or a suburban area. So this at times make natives resentful or uncooperative, because see, if you go to an eco-tourist destination, and if you want any special, maybe something like, fried chicken or mutton or something, some those type of dishes or something cuisine, you cannot find all those type of cuisine. You can find those cuisine which is very normal, the local community they consume. So obviously they will always try to feed you with the local food. So that has to be there. But sometimes people don't do, even going to a local, even going to a urban, I mean, visitor coming from an urban area and visiting a local, rural area, they want to test the food like a star category hotel, but that they won't find. That is one question. At the same time, they want some alcohols to be available. Now those type, that is not feasible. You go to any bar, because bar is not there, but they carry all these alcohols and with them drinks bottles, and after consuming the drink, they throw the bottles here and there. So this is, I mean, this is a very common problem. You'll find everywhere, I mean, so this has to be, this is only not the localites, but the government has to really a strict step in I mean, closing all this type of nuisances and all. So that is one thing. Then also coming to the religion, well, admitting the fact that there is always difference between religious beliefs and practices of the visitors and the residents. This becomes usually a problem when the visitors try to superimpose, they try to either superimpose or interface with native religion beliefs. So this may create a problem even when the intention is not impure, and maybe just for the sake of curiosity or obtaining knowledge. So this has to be, this is also a very sensitive issue, religion. So that has to be handled properly. Then come ethnicity, socio-cultural environment, ethnicity. Sometimes out of the zeal, out of interest, you wanted to know about the races, the ethnicity. The visitors are, you'll find they are consciously or unconsciously, they are trying to interfere in the with the customs of certain secluded communities like the tribals. They try to I mean, there's always, they are like this, this community, see their lifestyle and all. So this is resented and at times repulsed by the tribals. So there have been many cases, like we have a union territory that is known as Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is full of islands and all. And and Nicobar Islands is full of tribes. So many a times there is a conflict arose between the tribals and the visitors, because the tribals usually they don't harm you, but sometimes the visitors, they try to click photos of the tribals, or they try to interfere in their customs and beliefs, which the tribals don't like. So that you should maintain. Okay, if they are eager, if they are interested to interact with you, fine. Otherwise it is better, to avoid those, avoid their, whether their cultures or rituals, whatever they are doing. People try to interfere, I mean to say, people try to interfere in the tribal rituals and ceremonies, and even the art, their dressing sense and all. So this, has a very negative impact, because these tribals, they, even talking about this Andaman and Nicobar Islands, they stay in the deep forest, and they are very scared of normal people like us, because we are, because they just cover their bodies with, still you'll find they cover their bodies with the leaves of the trees. So you can understand, they cover their bodies with the leaves, and they wear all those accessories, made of wooden and all. And when they see the normal human beings like us, living in a different lifestyle, the whole body is covered, so they feel, some, well, who is this, they feel that we are trying to harm them and all. We are not trying to harm them, but they have that intuition that people are trying to harm you. So in that case, you should be very careful not to try that. That ethnicity of that particular area should be kept in intact. Then there is drug abuse, then prostitution. Yes, in many places, like places like you have heard of, like Thailand and all, Bangkok, you'll find open prostitution over there. But anyway, in many places, in many tourist destinations, it should be like, you'll find all this drug abuse, you'll find the prostitution, then child abuse. So and drug trafficking and basically child abuse, which are very becoming current at some of the tourists, very you can say very popular at some tourist destinations. And they, what happens, they represent, I mean, it has been practiced in such a manner that it represent a very ugly face, of some of the visitors, because the visitors, they go and say, they are involved in all this prostitution, they are involved in child abuse. So what happens, this tries to keep a very negative impact on the, when suppose foreigners are coming, and you'll find, children, they are begging and all, so they take click photos of that, then they say, see, India is such a country where you'll find all the children, below 12 years, around 14 years, they are begging, they are washing plates and all. So these are type of child abuse, so this, they try to reflect, I mean, these all are been reflected in videos. You'll see WhatsApp messages and all. So this you should take care of. Now everything is very much visible in the social media. Just if you see anything, people click a photo and they just upload in their social sites, social handles, so this has to be very much taken care of. Now last we come to the economic environment. So basically, economic environment, it is tourism at times, and at places developed over the heads of local people and at the cost of basically traditional economic activity like agriculture, fishing, these all. So when a monopoly of tourism exists, the economic impact of seasonality is often severe, and it leads to seasonal unemployment. So tourism is thus described as a you can say feast or famine industry. Okay, and the impact of tourism is especially very seasonal on the handicraft persons, and if tourism is interrupted for any reasons, then they are completely ruined. As you can see, it happens in case of Kashmir, in our country, which is known as the paradise on earth. It's a hill station, very beautiful. So you have to see that economic environment, because people visit many destinations which depends on season. They will be visiting during the winter season, or they'll be visiting those destinations on the summer season to see winter. They wanted to see the snowfall and all. So those are very seasonal and all. So but you have to ensure that the economic environment, because that is the time when more revenue is generated. So ensure that the environment is not being hampered. Okay, so this is about visitor behavior and environment. So just so I just like to summarize, the visitor behavior is very imperative in view of the threat to the environment posed by the visitors. And since India is known for its varied physical as well as cultural landscape, it plays a host to a large number of tourists, both national and international tourists. And steadily, the figure is increasing day by day. So the visitors' behavior, their conduct, their attitude, their lifestyle very much affects the environment of the tourist sites in many ways. So you have to ensure that it does not ruin only the physical landscape but also ruptures the socio-cultural fabric. Thus, the problem needs to be handled very effectively and efficiently. For this, both the visitors as well as the tourism authorities, as well as the local communities, so they have to contribute to the society. It is all about how you handle with the society. So so visitor has a very important role to play, and the authorities also do have a very important role to play, like especially you have seen yeah, we can easily profiling of the tourist means whether he's a foreign tourist or whether he's a domestic tourist. So that profiling is very important, and that plays a very effective role in tourism planning and development, so that you can easily find out from which state of the country the visitors are visiting, from which country the tourists are visiting, so that once the profiling is being done, then it would be very easier for you to prepare the statistics, a number of visitors visiting that particular destination, duration of stay. So accordingly you can plan, and control of the number of tourists is also very important for encouraging a guest host relationship, healthy guest host relationship. And so that is what is very important and I believe there are also laws are there. We should be abide by the laws, and of course we have already discussed about ecotourism and sustainable tourism. So ecotourism and sustainable tourism should be the motto of the authorities. Okay, efforts should be made to restrict or control the number of tourists that is visiting the particular destination or places at any given point of time. So this is not just restriction but an alternative approach. You have to control the tourists. So you have to, if you have to apply those approach, because application is very important. So that is, it's not like you might be thinking that you are restricting tourism. No, it is not at all. It is not about restricting tourism, but it is just an alternative approach. So efforts should be made through the medium of entertainment, like videos and all, then persons of the tourist department to inculcate an awareness among the visitors and educating them, that is sensitizing them about the need to preserve the environment. So that is very important. So this is where we uh, close this. This was about block 7. Okay. So hope you all seen the video. I mean
Yes, ma'am.
video. You have seen
I
the
also
PowerPoint. Hmm.
I've
Tell
seen the
me.
presentation. I also enjoy the presentation as well. Uh, I don't know if you can hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Hmm.
especially the aspect that you made mention of the eco park in the
Tourism.
Kolkata.
Yeah, Kolkata. Yes. You see the video today,
Yeah,
huh? YouTube.
yeah. You
Huh?
made mention
It's a
that.
beautiful park.
Yes, of course. You made mention that there is. Well, I can say there is a collection of the miniature of three or seven wonders of the world in that
Yes.
park.
Hmm.
I
Yes.
bet
Yes.
that
Seven
place
wonders.
can worth visiting. It can be worth visiting. I know that.
Yes, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Kabiru, once you visit India, you should see. I have only I have seen Taj Mahal, okay? That's in
Yeah.
Agra, that is around 3 hours journey from Delhi. But if you visit that, the way the miniature is being such beautifully made, it's worth seeing. And you won't believe, Kabiru, I just wanted to say when I visited Eco Park, I went with my daughter. That day it was Eid. You know, you also celebrate Eid, okay? And Calcutta, the Eid is celebrated in a very high scale. You won't believe it
Yes,
was
ma'am.
such a rush. I still remember. It was in the month of, I think, you have usually in the month of April and all. Na? The Eid usually takes place in the month of April. Your festival,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
main festival is Eid. Na? So I went on the Eid's day. So I'll never forget. So much rush you cannot believe, and
Yeah,
because
I know it can be very crowded as well.
it was very crowded because this is actually that was Ramzan festival, because you do this fasting. You remember, you do the fasting, and that is the day when you eat non-veg. Otherwise you do the fasting. No, 1 month fasting.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that was the day.
Yes.
So before going to the eco park, we also went to a shopping mall. So lot of children, they are hardly 6 to 10 years old, the girls and boys. They wore all new dresses, and applied lipsticks and all these girls, and they went to the mall, and they purchased all, because after 1 month they are getting the right to eat whatever they feel like. So there was so much rush. So
Yes.
in the daytime we went to the mall, and in the afternoon we went to that eco park, and that was your Eid day. So I still remember. It's really worth seeing how the villages and all
Uh,
it's there in that. Okay,
yeah,
so
I
that
wish I
was
could visit
really
that place one day.
yes, yes. You keep it in your bucket list, okay? So that when
Yes,
you
ma'am.
visit India, you could visit this. Okay,
By God grace.
so
And the this thing regarding their own, the term that there will be no person that will go in get into the park with any plastic or water or something like that. I think this can minimize the negative impact of the physical environment. You know, allowing people to go come
Hmm.
in with any external, or can say external. Bashir, please, can you mute your mic? I'm sorry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Gane nan,
Hmm.
shi
Yes.
kake shiga wayar ta.
Hello, Malam Bashir.
Hmm.
Abin ne,
Malam Bashir, please. Malam Bashir.
afuwan.
Please zaka dan yi ma muting mic ɗinka nan, surutu na dan shigowa, ƙara na shigowa cikin wannan naku.
I'm sorry, Kebi.
I think he's
Okay,
unable.
please can you mute your mic? Okay, thank you very
Hmm.
much. Thank you.
Hmm.
Sorry, ma'am, I talked to him in our local language. That's
Yes.
Hausa.
And it's nice, nice. That sounds good. We also see that is Acha, what is the this language known as? You spoke in your local
Hausa language.
language.
Hausa.
What you call
Hausa language.
Hausa?
Hausa.
Hausa.
Yes.
Acha, it is known as Hausa. So you speak
Yes.
Hausa.
Yes, but my
Okay.
own language, my tribe is Pulani. I speak Pulpul too.
You speak Pulani.
Yes, ma'am.
What you
Because I am
speak?
Fulani by tribe.
Okay, so you speak Pulani. Okay, okay.
I speak
Acha.
Fulani, and also I
Got
speak
it.
Hausa in because the most spoken language in Nigeria is Fulani, is Hausa after the English.
Oh, Hausa. So Hausa and
Yes,
Pulani, right? Okay.
yes,
I'll
especially
remember. Hope.
especially in the northern
So
part
good,
of the
good.
country.
Hmm.
Yeah, in the northern part of the
Northern part
country,
of the country.
these are
Okay,
the most
good, good.
spoken languages. But in
Hmm.
this now in the southern part,
Hmm.
where there are numerous of languages there, like Yoruba, Igbo, and the like.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. Okay, that's really great. See, today I came to know about your language, Hausa and Pulino, na? Pulino. So this is how,
Yeah.
we come. Good, good. That's really nice. So, Kaberu, you make it in your bucket list, before you visit India, what are the places you should what see, like Taj Mahal you should visit, then
I
Kolkata you
must
should
I
visit,
must
Delhi you
visit
should
I
visit.
must visit Taj Mahal, ma'am. I would like to
Hmm.
visit Rajasthan as well.
That is. Rajasthan. Yes, that is. You should visit
Yes, of
Rajasthan.
course, ma'am.
So, Delhi, Rajasthan,
And
and then you can come
and
down to
also Hyderabad.
Kolkata and Acha, Hyderabad. Yes, no. Good, good. Hyderabad.
And ma'am,
Yes,
your
that's
financial
prominent.
city as well, Mumbai, the financial city of India, Mumbai as well.
Mumbai. Yes, yes. Financial. See, I think doing your course from IGNO, you have come to know a lot about our culture, right? The
Of course, ma'am.
destinations and all. Okay, good, good. You should
Yeah,
always
I
try to
came to know
explore,
about
see
the
the videos.
destinations and also the
Hmm.
cuisine. And I would
Hmm.
like to learn the language as well, the
Yes,
Hindi.
yes.
Yeah,
Hindi, yes. Slowly
yes,
you can. Hindi is
yes,
very
ma'am.
easy.
Because
You know,
yeah,
Sometimes I wanted to show
I
that
used to
video.
okay, because I
Hmm.
used to watch some Indian films from Bollywood.
Hmm. Okay. Acha, that's good. So that Hindi, I mean, English I mean, they were speaking in Hindi. I mean, but
Yes, sometimes,
at the
but
bottom,
there will be a subtitle. Yes, there will be a subtitle.
titles,
So I used to pick up,
that is.
yes, I used to pick up some words from the language as well.
Okay, good. That's really nice of you. You have that interest to learn. So that is very
Yes, I have,
important. I mean,
ma'am.
and you all are.
Basically,
Hmm.
I would like to learn multiple languages. I want to be a bilingual person because I have a zeal of
Hmm.
becoming a tour guide in the future. So that's why I'm interested in
Hmm.
learning some languages because for now I think I can speak about four languages, which are
Hmm.
there is English, Arabic, Hausa,
Hmm.
and full
Hmm.
day.
Acha,
These are the
Arabic,
languages I can speak fluently.
Huh.
And yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
that's really good.
So that's why. But now I would like to
That's
learn Hindi and
so
also
good. You keep
Korean because I would like to learn Korean as well and Hindi.
you practice. That is very important. That is very essential because some people,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
have
I used to some. I used to take some class online.
classical songs. Uh,
No, some classes online,
Oh,
online class
classes
only like this.
online. Okay, classes, you take classes online. That's very good because you should have that interest. Once you have the interest, then your capturing capacity is also quite strong, so you can easily learn. That's very important, and I'm really
Yes,
very
ma'am.
happy to know that you know so many things about India, about Kolkata. You came to know about this Durga Puja. Then I told you about this Eco
Yes,
Park.
ma'am.
Then you know about Rajasthan, the Taj Mahal, Delhi, Hyderabad. Charminar is there. So Hyderabad is
Yes, Armina.
I mean,
And ma'am, I know
it's
about
a little.
Khajuraho as well. Khajuraho and
Okay,
like
Khajuraho. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Yes, it's a temple, Khajuraho temple. Huh? Okay, okay. Very good. Okay. Now, see, you
yes,
have
of
so
course.
many, so nice. I mean, really, you should practice this. And there are so many things, from the YouTubes you can come to learn all this. And since you are a tourism student also, you are basically, I mean, in technical field, but still then, since you have an interest, so you should practice this. That is very essential. Okay. Now, I wanted to move. Thank you so
Thank you, ma'am.
much, Kabiru, for the interaction. I'll show you one. We'll move to the
Thank
unit, block 8. Okay. And before that, I'll show you one video. Okay. Just let me show that video.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, Today, my computer is running slow. I don't know why.
So there are so numerous reasons why computers used to be slow. Uh,
Wait, what were you telling? Kabiru, is it visible now? Kabiru, okay, okay. You were
yes, ma'am.
saying
It's
something?
good.
You wanted to say something?
Yes, you
Ah,
mentioned that your computer seems to be slow. That's why I said there are numerous reasons why computers used to be
yes.
slow.
You sometimes you give me the how to how to handle those really. Okay, okay,
No
okay.
problem,
So
ma'am.
okay, you just hear what he's saying. Yes, in exchange. Okay, so what happened? You just listen to him, then I'll move to the chapter. Okay, because this our next chapter is about
Okay, 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 ma'am.
environment, about a wildlife. Next block is about vegetation and wildlife in India. So before moving to that block, you
Okay,
just listen. Huh?
okay. Ma'am, you need to increase the volume, ma'am.
Kabiru, you wanted to say anything? Is it, I mean, audible?
Yes, you need to increase the volume.
Volume. Okay, okay. I have increased the volume, which let me try. See, this is 100. This is also have increased maximum,
I think it is from the video.
Okay. See now, huh?
Mom, this video is not properly audible.
I understand, but the problem is from their side. You just try to see the writings over there. Maybe we can
Yes,
discuss
ma'am.
after the video gets over. Okay. Okay. Yes, you saw the video. So why I showed this video, because our next block is on wildlife and vegetation. Okay, so wait, let me first move it to that. One sec. Did you understand from the video? This is a
Yes,
video
ma'am. Very
on
well.
India scenario, how the
It
country
is
is
all
getting
about
polluted.
yes, it's
Hmm.
all about an environmental
Tell
management.
me. Yes, yes. Oh, not this one. Wait. This one I have just done. One sec.
where the water bodies are contaminated, the air is polluted, and other
Yes,
things like that.
that's happening. That is, they are spoiling the environment. Where is my PPT? 1 minute, huh? One sec. Wait. I'll show you this video later on. I have kept it ready. This is also an interesting video. One sec. Hmm. Yes. 1 minute, huh? How is the weather at your place now in Nigeria?
Okay, yes, ma'am. The weather here in my side, it is getting to be Hamatan, but it is hot now. Right now, it is hot. Maybe in one next month, the Hamatan will
Huh,
dominate the city. But in some areas like Kano State, I mean,
huh.
the commercial state in Nigeria, I can say, or in the northern part, it is Hamatan
Hmm.
already because
Okay.
there are
Okay.
some,
Even
I
our
can
area, it
say,
is.
intervals.
Okay, okay. In our area, it is now hot, but we are in the month of, October is going to get over. So next, in the month of November, it will be cool only. December is quite cool, but because of this pollution and all, uh, I mean, most of the time it is hot throughout the year, you can say. Except in January and December, it is little bit cool, but especially we are in the eastern part, but in the northern part, it is cold. But the thing is that the air is so much polluted because of this pollution, vehicle pollution and smoke. Together they form this smog, and smog is very, not only inhaling problem issues, but it also affects your body also. It is known as
Yes,
smog.
ma'am.
When
It is the same.
smoke
It is the
and
same here, ma'am. Even in our
hmm,
area, here in the northern part, it is
hmm,
the same because we will be
hmm.
experiencing Hamatan, that's smoke, natural disaster like smoke, from the month of November
Yes,
to the
yes,
month of
that's really
almost February or January.
March, usually February, yes. That's what happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is, no?
It is
Okay.
Yes,
How are you, Hamza? How are you? That is Hamza's voice.
I'm fine, ma. I'm okay. How was your journey, ma'am?
Oh, my journey was good. I reached yesterday. So my celebration, puja holidays was good. So now back to work. 3 4 days we enjoyed. We went for to see idols of Lord Durga. You have seen that. So it was puja
Yes,
celebration.
I
That
have
is the
seen.
so now we are back to work. Now again Diwali is coming. Diwali will take place after 15 days. So you see that
okay.
also in YouTube, that video Diwali. Okay. I'll let you know so you can have
Ma'am,
a
Okay, ma'am.
idea.
you have to pay for our
Hmm.
visa to visit to celebrate this Diwali with you in India, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, of course, of course.
No, you see, whenever you come to India, na, you ensure to come in the month of this October and November and all. Means year ending. Only then you have lot of festivals. Even Christmas is celebrated at a very. If you go to Goa and all, all the festivals. I'm just telling. It's not that only the Hindu culture like Durga Puja or Diwali. It is even the Ramzan, the Eid. They are celebrated at a very high level. Whatever festival, and even Christian community, they celebrate your Christmas. That is also, if you visit Goa and all, that is at a very large scale. But even in our places, all the churches and all, they are illuminated with light. People, they celebrate, I mean, they go to different restaurants, and they visit different churches, cathedrals. So everything is there. There is a particular area in Kolkata which is known as Park Street. You remember, the name is Park Street. The Park Street is full of restaurants, and they have those restaurants of that British time and all. Okay, and during the Christmas, that is on Lord Jesus was born on 25th December, but on the 24th night, those jingles are being played. So whole 24th of December, the whole road, blocked with people. They will hear all those Lord Jesus was born. All people will wear all those caps, and jingles will be played. Then gifts all around, everything with lighted, illuminated. So it's not that. That's why I told you should come. You should come to visit India during any celebration, like any when any festival is being celebrated. Then you'll come to know what how the festival is celebrated. It is not only about Hindu or Muslim or Christianity. All religions, they celebrate with a great pomp and show. That is very important, and that's the essence of India. When others come, they enjoy this. I mean, whether they wear new dresses, you know the handicrafts they buy, the cuisine they food they eat and all, everything has a very I mean, you really enjoy. I mean, you won't find the difference. That's the thing. But my request to all of you, you should come during any celebrations. Then you'll come to know how it is being celebrated. Okay, just remember this. Okay, so should I go ahead? Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Okay. So, this block 8, this is about vegetation and wildlife. Okay. So, basically, when we talk about money, this unit will be dealing with the terms vegetation and wildlife, and differentiate and between, and apply in proper context the terms. What does vegetation means? What does wildlife means? And also, see, India has a lot of species, okay, wildlife species that occur in the different biogeographic zones of India. And then you have to enumerate the importance of wildlife to humans, why it is very important, and analyze and discuss the impacts of tourism on wildlife. Okay, so moving ahead, introduction, we come to the introduction. Like, whenever we especially when we talk about all the species, vegetation and wildlife, it may sound very simple, but basically vegetation means a variety of plants that inhabit a given area, and wildlife includes all animals, whether it is small or medium or large, herbivorous, carnivorous, and even the birds that inhabiting a given area, precisely a wild area. So this wild areas are those areas especially which are out of reach or are not usually frequently visited or disturbed by the human beings, implying thereby that all the species occurring there are in perfect harmony with each other. Like on my very first class, I told you that we need to stay in harmony with ourselves, with the uh, family, with the peer group, as well as with the environment. Okay, with the society and with the environment. So it is very important that we should stay in harmony with the nature. And these species are in a perfect harmony with the nature, and they are always, and they are well adapted to the climatic conditions of India. Not only the climatic conditions, but also the soil types, as well as the geographical conditions of that area. And moreover, they are all capable of surviving and completing their life cycle, one season after another, all by themselves, without any human care and help. See, that is how they have made themselves, adaptable. So presently, the scope of wildlife is not when we talk about wildlife, it is not only limited to animals only, but it includes all living beings that occurs in wild conditions, that is the animals, the plants, the microorganisms, and also other lesser known living beings. So hence vegetation is a, you can say vegetation is a component of wildlife. So it should be very clear. So presently, I mean, it should be very clear to you that these two terms, that is wildlife as well as vegetation, they are neither complementary nor antonyms, as was the past belief, which still prevails in some parts of the country today. So if you talk about, in our country, which occupies just 2% of the total land mass, and which has a rich biodiversity. It comprises about 5% of the known biodiversity from the world over, and there are about more than 81,000 plus species of animals, then around some crores of species of birds, then a variety species of categories of plants, then flowering plants and all. So especially, they represent these species, plants, animals. They all are represent rich biodiversity. Okay, so in addition, this species may also have some subspecies, which in turn have countless varieties. So all these make the wildlife in India one of the richest in the world. And the prime reason, the main reason behind this, you can say, such a rich biodiversity is because of the availability of an extraordinary diversity of habitats in India. And from the cold and arid high altitude regions of the Trans Himalayas to the dense tropical rainforests of South India, from the hot Thar Desert. You told about Rajasthan, the Thar Desert is in Rajasthan. From the Thar Desert in the west to the lush mangroves of the eastern coastal areas, you have mangrove forests and several variations in between. So, an entire, you can say, in fact, an entire lifetime would be inadequate to see the entire range of habitats. Okay, so coming to, we have the Trans Himalayas zone, then we have like uh, uh, we have the Trans Himalayas, we have the Himalayas, then we have the subtropical foothills, then there are the western zone, northern zone, southern zone, eastern zone, central zone. I mean, it is also being divided. Then the Indian desert, like Rajasthan, mostly it is covered with desert. Then we have wildlife of the Indian desert also. So the I mean, lot of species. Then we have the Western Ghats. Then we have the wildlife of Western Ghats too. So like each species, and we also do have the wildlife of the Deccan Peninsula. So each species interacts with the other species, and they play a very important role in the transfer of energy and materials within and between the ecosystem. So hence each one in its own way contributes to the stability of the ecosystem, whether it is a small animal or whether it is a large animal. Everyone of it contributes in some way to the stability of the ecosystem. And suppose, lot of we will find lot of species are also disappearing. If the situation continues in such a manner, then the diversity diminishes, and the number of, you can say, the plants animal population would also decrease. And when species are lost, or it would result, the stabilizing influences of predation, then parasitism and competition are disrupted. And once it is disrupted, the ecosystem also becomes vulnerable to disturbances that in some cases it may threaten to destroy the environment. So the importance of wildlife is very uh, is of immense importance, and so is the need for conserving it in its natural state. But we cannot, it is very difficult to imagine the existence of human beings without world wildlife. Even if we have a glance at the history of India, we would see that even 2000 years ago, people were very much aware of the importance of the wildlife, and this explains like why they had the compassion, why they had the interest for this species, for these creatures, for these habitats, and their presence in the nature, which is of utter importance. Now, coming to this is the impacts of tourism on wildlife. Now, tourism covers all the phenomena and relationship, diverse destinations that is spread across the world based on the interests and objectives. Now, people go to different destinations which may range from, like, they may go for holidaying, for leisure. It can be a leisure trip, it can be an educational trip, it can be a wellness trip, to explore. What is the reason? To explore the natural and historical sites, to explore the natural sites, the cultural sites, the historical sites, the religious sites, pilgrimage places, and all these sites require some infrastructure, minimum infrastructure, that is the basic infrastructure, such as accommodation, fooding, lodging, basic amenities, then roads, then the transport, mode of transport, whether you travel by a two wheeler or a three wheeler or a four wheeler, and at the end, proper waste disposal system. And all this is right, but how can all this affect the wildlife? That is the question arises. So the impacts of tourism on wildlife is a mixed one. It has both positive impacts as well as it has some negative impact. So obviously, we will always try to first put up the positive impacts. So if you talk about the positive impacts, the first thing that it comes is, it helps in making the tourist ecologically aware. Ecologically aware in the sense, encouraging them to take up conservation measures and initiatives to minimize pollution. In India, we celebrate, like, as I told you, we celebrate Diwali, we celebrate Dashera, we celebrate Eid. These are the festivals, these are the celebrations. But at the same day, we also celebrate, One Mahotsav Day, where we plant trees and all. We say a conservation day. We have a tobacco day. We have a first aid day. We have a yoga means meditation day. So all these are also being celebrated, where you will find, even on the yoga day that comes on 21st July, our prime minister of the country does yoga with other ministers and the citizens of the country, in Delhi, and that is being highlighted. So the thing is that people are made aware of. That is what, even tobacco day, that is also being celebrated. So these days are also being celebrated. So what happens, it has a positive impact on tourism, so that the tourists are being ecologically aware, and thus we can encourage them to take up conservation measures and the initiatives to minimize the pollution. And it has also led, so obviously, we have seen, the local community, the state governments, they have taken enough measures to maintain the scenic environment, whether it is historical sites or monuments, the wildlife. Then there are so many around. India has around 40 or 48, I think, UNESCO heritage sites our country has. So these are well maintained. I mean, that is, people are made aware of all those. They should be we should encourage them to conserve, do the conservation of this uh, sites. Then it also and another positive feature of tourism is that it has promoted research and environmental impact studies. Now whenever you wanted to set up any hotel or any such, it is not only the architecture who is being consulted, beside the architecture we also do have the environment specialist, because if it is a star category hotels having suppose 2 to 300 rooms, company, whether it is in a resort or whether it is in the heart of the city, there will always be some environmental impact. So the beside the whether it is a manager of the hotel, I mean a hotel manager specialist, or a architect, along with them also an environmental specialist also comes to ensure that it does not have any negative impact on the environment. So that is people, so that is where research is being carried out, so that the impact on the environment is at a very minimum way, you can say minimum level. So and the list of negative, I just mentioned few positive impacts. There are another, there are development planned cities, destinations. Blue baby. Okay, so these are all there. Now there are at the same time there are the negative impacts. When we talk of the negative impacts, they may be directly or indirectly, and let us find out what are the effects it has. First, roads, vegetation, and wildlife. What is the impact on roads, vegetation, and wildlife? Construction of road is very much necessary to reach to that particular destination. Okay. Now, how roads are built? Obviously, the main thing, that first thing that comes in our mind is the roads are built by cleaning the areas, and you have to cut the trees. So there are deforestation takes place, and there are also at some areas where the barren land, or where agricultural land, they are being used for construction, because that particular area is being used for the construction of roads. And it could be also the habitat of a number of species that ultimately get destroyed. Suppose if a road from a suppose from an urban city to a rural area, there's a road, okay, and to I mean a road has to be constructed. So on the way you will find agricultural lands, you will find lakes, or you will find ponds. So but however, those roads have to be constructed. You will also find huge thick forests, so those has to be cleaned. So once they are, when the natural habitat of a particular place is being destroyed, it naturally hampers the environment. So there's always a habitat disturbance and destruction. They are the direct consequences of direct consequences of road construction. Okay. Then roads on one hand are a necessity. We need to have roads for development, but on the other hand, they have become a cause of overpopulation of tourist sites. Since now people earlier reaching a destination, to a particular destination, people would avoid going to that destination because there was no proper route. But now, once the road was made, once the road was constructed, you will have overpopulation of tourist sites. So you see, there's a positive side as well as the negative side. But you should always try to balance that. So that is what is very important. Now, just Badrinath, we have the four dhams of the country. So reaching to that destination is also very difficult. Now, people, there are youngsters, they have to climb the, I mean it's a hilly region, they have to go up the hill and walk long distance. But now there are mules also carrying, horses, mules carrying the tourists, because everyone cannot walk through that hilly region. Then beside that, after that, helicopters are also there. Now, see, whenever these type of helicopters or or the vehicles, four wheelers, they pollute the environment. They not only pollute the environment, not only it is a question of air pollution, but it also creates sound pollution. So there is noise pollution, there is air pollution, the sound pollution. So whatever pollution is there, whatever pollution is created, it is created because land, because more tourists are visiting that particular destination. So well, it has been made accessible to the tourists, but it has caused major destruction of the surrounding forest, there's the surrounding mangroves, and impairment of the ecology and the natural beauty of the area. Now coming to transportation. See, there are various means of transportation, okay, and as I say, each species has an important. Each species they interact with the other species and play a very important role in transferring energy and materials within and between the ecosystems. Now, when these transportation takes place to a hilly region, I've shown you the picture. The hilly region takes place, people, you can see the backdrop, there are hills and all, so everybody cannot climb the hill. So they have, tourism department has made many facilities. You can reach there either by walking, the mode of transport, either by walking, or you can take the help of a mule or a horse, or if you have money, then you can also take a flight, which would take flight madam helicopter, okay, which would take maybe maximum 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but is expensive. Now this helicopter which is flying up and down, they are creating noise pollution is there. So the various means of transport, whether it is a air transport or whether it's a water transport, they and land transport, basically they are used for ferrying the tourists from one place to another. So while they are ferrying the tourists, they not only disturb the wildlife, but also increase the pollution by their fuel emissions, okay, and high noise levels, that you can understand. It must be remembered that even traffic, even the heavy traffic due to pedestrians, what to say of vehicles, alters the composition of vegetation, and areas having heavy pedestrian traffic show trampling of small and tender wild species, making their survival difficult. Because whenever any vehicle is going and all, sometimes what happens, they kill the eggs of those animals or kill the small animals. This is what is happening, and this happens because due to less, due to carelessness, or maybe inadvertently done. So nevertheless it is an important factor that should be taken care of. Now comes disturbance of wildlife. As I have mentioned, tourism encompasses all phenomenon and relationship, diverse destinations spread throughout the world based on the interest and objectives. So it has affected the feeding as well as the breeding habits of many wild animals. And nowadays, you might have seen, well, watching is becoming a very popular activity of many tourists. If you our tagline for India's tourism is incredible India, tourism tagline. So each state also has some tagline. For I belong to Odisha state, which is in the eastern part of the country, and the tourism tagline is India's best kept secret. The tagline is, belong to Orissa. The tagline is India's best kept secret. Now, what does it signify? You'll really find mountains, wildlife sanctuaries. You'll find vegetations. You'll find crafts, handicrafts, handlooms. Then you'll find crocodiles, moving with the nature. You will find dolphins dancing as per your tune. Now the question you may ask, what does it mean, dolphin dancing as per your tune? There is a place called Chilka Lake. You know, the name of the lake is Chilka Lake. It is the Asia's largest brackish water salt lake. Okay, salt water lake. Asia's largest brackish salt water lake. It is situated in Orissa, the state which I reside, and it is around 300 kilometers from my place. Now, the beauty of that place, in the winter season, you'll see all migratory birds. Okay, that is one. You'll see all migratory birds in the winter season. And second thing, you know, if you there's a boating, you can do boating. And if you go deep, because that basically this Chilika brackish saltwater lake is basically a part of the ocean. Okay, a part of the ocean which has come. Since it is a part of the ocean, like you can say the mouth, part. So through that, you will, if you go in the middle of that lake, uh, with the mode of transport is boating only. So by boating, if you reach there in the middle of the lake, you will find all dolphins. They are just coming up. So it swings and dolphin dancing according to your tune. They're just going up and then again going down, you'll see. But now, earlier people used to go and visit, they used to visit, I mean, they used to go, I mean, from a long distance, they could see the dolphins. Okay. But nowadays, so many tourists are visiting there, they are also scared. So, I mean, it depends on your luck. If you're fortunate enough, you could see the dolphins. If not, then. And what happened, the local boat riders or the local communities, they take you, you can say, they also make money in that business. They say, okay, I'll take you to the middle of the beach, I mean, middle of the saltwater lake. You will see dolphins. So sometimes you go, you pay so much money, but you are unable to see. So the reason behind is there, the dolphins also now aware of too much tourists. So, it also spoils their, there is sound pollution, there is noise pollution, there is water pollution, there is air pollution. So these are the ones which has a very negative impact on the society, on the environment. So that is what we are trying to project this message through this PowerPoint presentations and through this chapter. Like, watching is becoming popular activity of many tourists. But each year, a number of tourists you will find gathering at the whale. I told you about the dolphin. That is the dolphin, the whale migration sites. While watching is going up, yes, no doubt in by nearly 10% annually in Argentina, Brazil, all these are increasing day by day. So 10% annually in Argentina, then Brazil, then the Caribbean, Mexico, Japan, New Zealand, South Africa, Norway, United Kingdom. So it has been observed that too much intrusive observation by the tourists by boats or aircrafts, they usually build up stress at dangerous levels. So obviously this disturbs their normal breeding and results in the birth of stillborn babies. So this is what happens. So tourism related activities, they disturb the seasonal and regional migratory behavior of several animals and birds. That all I was trying to say, that Chilika Lake in Orissa, that is, you'll find migratory birds. But earlier there were a lot of migratory birds, but now it is slowly decreasing, and because of this disturbance. Okay. And the construction as well as the use of lands, hotels, and you'll find camps, they disturb the migratory animals. And there is a bird sanctuary in India which is known as Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, that is located in Rajasthan. And there it is known for its Siberian crane. Okay. Then there are wildlife sanctuaries which is known in Assam, in another state, where you'll find one on rhinoceros. So there are a lot of all these bird sanctuaries, natural reserves, wildlife reserves you'll find. And slowly, by slowly, this they are also they are in the verge of extinct. The reason behind is too many tourists, like you can say mass tourism. They are feeling, they are not able to breathe in such a, because they want to love with the, they want to stay with the nature. But since so much tourists are visiting, so slowly it is also disturbing their lifestyle. Suppose if if you're studying, okay, and your friends come and visit you often, then don't you feel disturbed? You are unable to concentrate, okay. So similarly, when they are at a place cool with the nature, they have seasonal effects and all impact, seasonal impacts. But if tourists come on, visiting those, taking photographs, then trying to distract those, obviously it disturbs them. They are unable to keep the balance. So there's a lot of tourists and bird watching enthusiasts. They gather at these sites to watch these magnificent birds. But nowadays the birds are not showing up. So with the non showing up of these birds, the future of this area as a tourist spot seems dark. This is very natural. You can also understand, I can also understand what that happens. And the wildlife is also affected by hunting and invasion of the natural habitats, and even by photography, too much photographs. They also, the impact of large animals and birds is apparent, but not many studies have been conducted on reptiles, insects, and other kind of animals. So all these animals, wildlife, vegetation, they are equally important for the ecosystem balancing of the ecosystem. And the quality of wildlife also gets affected. But it has been found that by regular, you can say, exposure to a large number of tourists every day in the sanctuaries, national parks, and other wildlife areas, it now has become very, the animals, they have lost their enthusiasm also. So when people throw bits of food such as wafers, chocolates, etc., they have literally made the wild animals like deer and monkeys begging for more. It's like, so they should not be disturbed, but people never understand that. Then it is also a general human tendency to get closer to wild animals and birds in sanctuaries, and this disturbs them, and they try to avoid all this. And then, because they're losing their privacy, everyone needs to be in their privacy, so the loss of their privacy affects them adversely, particularly the ones that prefer to breed in seclusion. So this is what happens, okay. And souvenirs from wildlife, what happened, you visit a particular destination, then you wanted to buy a, suppose you have visited a wildlife sanctuary, what you wanted to buy, you wanted to buy some cap, okay, which is made up of that fur of that animal. This is on, oh, then you'll show it as a, this is a souvenir. I went to this natural reserve and I brought this cap, and this cap is made of fur, and the fur belongs to the animals, belonging to that particular zone. So what happens? Whether it is the furs, whether it is the skins, or the ivory ornaments, or the horns, especially you have this rhinoceros horns and all, then tails, key rings, you'll find lot of key rings made of all these ivory ornaments, and they can be prepared at the cost of animals' lives, or inflicting wounds on their body. So even the butterflies are also not spared. So they are increasing day by day, and obviously these species, they also try to avoid the human nature. Okay, you go, you see them, but people are nowadays busy in clicking photographs, buying souvenirs made from. So this is how poaching takes place. The localites, they kill those animals, they do poaching, then they prepare, they create all those accessories, jewelries, and people, tourists, they're very eager to buy, generating revenue. But spoiling the, this is all at the, they are at the cost of the animals lives. So that has to be really taken care of. Then tourism industry is not only going to stay, but of course it is flourishing day by day, as it contributes to the economic development of a nation. But it has to be realized and understood that tourism and environment have to go hand in hand. That is very important. So tourism and environment have to go hand in hand in a very justified manner. And since the tourism destination is always and such many a tourist destination is they are under stress, they are under strain, and this is gradually losing its natural character and color for which these were visited. So we should always have this question in our mind: what if the tourist destination stops to be as a tourist attraction? Why do we visit a particular tourist destination? We visit to feel the beauty of the nature, the wildlife, the species, the natural habitation, the vegetation. But if it is being affected by mass tourism, then it loses its importance, it loses its natural beauty, its essence. So that is the reason where the question comes, it should be ecotourism, green tourism, sustainable tourism comes into picture, or responsible tourism. And for this many reasons why ecotourism, green tourism, sustainable tourism, responsible tourism should be encouraged. No eating in plates made of steel or made of plastics. You should eat on plates which are made of bamboo leaves, or which are made of on some other leaves. You can feel the natural beauty. That is what is very important. Okay. And waste disposal, so it is natural that some waste would be generated and left wherever tourists stay and visit. And especially these polythene bags, bottles, they are becoming very common in areas, especially in sanctuaries and wildlife reserves. They eat, they consume the food and they throw here and there the garbage. So this dumping of untreated sewage from the tourist accommodations to the nearby rivers or sea is very common, and it has to be, and it has, if not immediate, long term detrimental effects on the wildlife and ultimately the whole ecosystem. Okay. So summary, I'll just summarize, then I'll show you a video, then I'll also need to interact with you. So anyway, vegetation refers to the total plant life occupying a given area, and wildlife includes all living beings, both at the micro level as well at the macro level, occurring in their natural conditions without any human care. And India has been divided into all these biogeographic zones, as I've mentioned: Trans Himalayas, Himalayas, Indian desert, semi-arid, Western Ghats, Deccan Peninsula, Gangetic Plains, Northeast India, islands and coast. So each of these zones has certain geographical as well as biological peculiarities, and some of the biological elements are found in certain zone only and nowhere else. So you understand that some biological elements will find only, because there are some animals which can stay only in hilly regions. They cannot stay in plateaus or plains, because they are being adapted in such a manner that they can only survive in cool climate. They cannot survive in hot climatic conditions. So these biological elements are found in certain zone and nowhere else, so you have to take special care of them. And the value of wildlife is of immense importance. It is not only, since we are talking about beauty, the essence of beauty, nature or joy, it is not only about beauty, wonder and joy, but it provides sustenance to a large extent to the mankind. It provides sustenance to a large extent, to a large segment of mankind. So the wildlife is very important, valuable for mankind, and especially in the field of improvement of plants and livestock. And wildlife plays a very crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance on this planet. And many of the tourism related activities, either directly or indirectly, they affect the wildlife, and especially the construction of roads, then tourist accommodations, food outlets in different wild areas, then the tourist behaviors. These are the broad areas which would always pose a negative impact on the wildlife. So that care has to be taken. So thank you. Before I finish it off, I would just wanted to show you that video. Okay, 1 minute. I'll just show that video. Hamza, were you able to understand?
Maybe Hamza is not close.
Was it okay? Was it visible, like audible, visible?
Yes, the presentation was visible, I suppose, mom.
I think this is the one I wanted to show you, huh? This one, huh? Just
Okay.
see. Yeah. One sec.
endemic species are wild boar and deer. We're now halfway through our video. If you still are with us, please comment India down below. Number 5, Kashmir red stag. Kashmir red stag, as the name might imply, can be found in the state of Kashmir in the Sindh Valley regions. The white patch on the rump makes this deer easy to distinguish from others. They're classified as an endangered species and are commonly called Bengal in the summer. Their fur takes on much a brighter hue. As adults, their horns have at least 5 points. They are a subspecies of red deer and they do, in fact, shed their velvet. They can weigh up to 600 pounds, making the male Kashmir red stag truly massive mammals to encounter. According to fossil records, this red stag deer were at least 12 million years. Snow leopard. Snow leopard located in India with the largest numbers of wildlife sanctuary. The snow leopard roar more fur, 5 feet, 40 miles per hour, and the ability to look up and eat consists mainly of goats also found in the region. Despite closely resembled, they are only considered to be to the snow leopard. Like they are called the gray ghosts, so they can allow subdue well, blend in with their surroundings. Paired with their shy nature, this can often be difficult to spot the snow leopard. Even if you're near inside the mating season, they are solitary animals on their own. Number 3, Indian bison. The Indian bison might be one of the biggest animals on this list. They are known natively as guar and have been on the IUCN Red List since 1986. In the last 3 generations, their population has declined by 70%. The state animal of Goa and Rahat, they are the largest of any bovine and the tallest of any wild species. In the wild, their life expectancy is only 12 years, but the lifespan of a guar in captivity is 26 years. Adult male weighs between 1.8 tons. Even unprovoked, outdoors are extremely aggressive and can cause extensive and often even lethal injuries with their up and curved horns. Social animals, they usually gather in herds of 10 large. With one dominant male, this makes them extremely hard for humans to provoke. Number 2, black. The black buck is the state animal of Punjab, Haryana, and Andhra Pradesh. This goat has uniquely spiral horns. The coloring is also easy to distinguish from other goats in the region. The white underbelly, black spots under the eyes, and a black mantle. They used to cover the entire subcontinent of India, but their numbers plummeted as human population increased. It's rare to see herds larger than 30 black bucks. The females do not have horns. In the winter, coloring fades to a rusty brown, jack and to the main predators of black bucks, though the recent outbreak of wild streaks they withhold their numbers. As they age, bucks grow and they are fully mature. The black buck is full and enormous. These social stack since smell and hearing almost solely in their sight features. When danger is located, the black buck to alert the rest of nearly our video. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed, okay? That will always be notified if you're content using final
এই এটা দেখা দাও।
this is one of the single largest mammals in the world and can easily be observed on the roads that run through South India.
You are not
You're
audible.
not audible.
You have to unmute your mic. Your mouth is mute.
Okay, huh. Yes, yes. Can you hear me now? The
Yes,
video
ma'am.
was
Yes,
going
now
on.
we can hear you. Okay.
Yes, the last one
So,
was the elephant. What happened? The video was going on, but there was no charge, so it just went blank. Anyway, so the video got over. I mean, the PPTs also I have taken another. So tomorrow is the last block 9. I'll be completing. So how did you like the video, and what is the message you got? So India is known for its species, wildlife, but the thing is that we need to safeguard the vegetation as well as the wildlife, the environment. That is what is very important. Okay, so I understood you got to know a lot through these PPTs and the videos that I have shown. You had a rough idea, that India is a state which has a varied culture, art, diversified, languages, everything. Okay. So, any questions and all? Kabiru, Hamza, Basir, Kabiru?
yes, ma'am. From my own side, there is no question because I understand everything I can say. For now,
Hmm. Okay. So, I mean, Basir or Hamza, do you have anything?
From my side, ma'am, there is nothing.
Hmm. Okay. So, tomorrow is basically the last class we are having. Uh, and uh, tomorrow we'll be having the last class. Okay. So, Kabiru, I had given you some, assignment, like you can discuss on that aspect tomorrow. What do you say?
okay, ma'am, no problem. And there is an assignment, the general assignment you have given to us as well. You didn't then mention of that.
Huh. That is, but I wanted to hear, how, like, this artificial intelligence or data science, they are helpful in tourism, tourism industry. So we will have a just general discussion. Like I'll finish by tomorrow, maximum I'll take 1 hour to finish that. Then we'll have a general discussion, and what are, if you
Okay.
have any queries and all. Suppose you told some of you all have some this dashboard, the PPTs are not properly there or something. Of if you have any queries, you can just tell it to me. I can just put it forward to IGNO, so they can resolve it. Okay, so come
Okay,
prepared,
ma'am.
and
Okay, ma'am.
I wish you all a happy day. Okay, enjoy your day.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank,
Basi. Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Kabiru. Okay.
thank you,
Okay.
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
See
you.
you.